It's been a while since we got to chat. I was just about to say that. Things have been weirdly busy, but also kind of quiet.
You mean politically or socially?
Yes. But that ICE agent showed up at Nicole's school the other day? I mean, they didn't get in, but it scared the crap out of everyone. She's been making good luck charms and protection charms nonstop and hiding them on all the nooks and crannies, buried in the track field and under the front gate. Now, that's a smart thing to do. If I can be frank, I'd say she should have done that much earlier, with the school shootings and whatnot. I'd say the chances of that happening at an art school are low.
I've been wrong before. Raythu had boss do similar spells to their den. They've been hoarding books, more than usual. With diverse history being scrubbed from the internet, they're making sure that some records, at least, are going to survive this bullshit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What happened to your pins?
I don't know. I took them off so I could wash my hat for the first time in too long. And now I can't find them.
Aren't most of them knives?
Yes, most of them are knives glamored into pins. But don't worry, I got spares.
Of course you do. Well, now, don't you have one of those TikTok things for your book blogging?
Oh yeah, I've been in overdrive for that. They're going to try to erase minority history and literature. I'm going to double down. Fantasy, romance, history, comedy, I got you covered. In fact, one of my favorite authors just dropped a new one last week called The Witch Who Trades with Death. It's a bit tropey, and most of the queer characters are on the sidelines rather than center stage, but still a good read.
So we've heard, anyway. Welcome to CaFae Latte.
Holy shit, Ethan, I was not expecting you.
Well, hello to you too.
Jennifer Charles, you know my rules on swearing, especially around children.
Oh, come on, I hear way worse at school.
Yeah, just wait till you get into high school. I genuinely can't, because so many of my teachers at my middle school stuck with the whole autism accommodation thing, and I don't even need that much accommodating, but they make it this whole deal. I can't say for sure, but from what I've heard, most of the teachers at the high school are better about that kind of thing. Yeah, if nothing else, can't your witch friend or the fairy lady here get you some sort of spell so you don't have to deal with jerks? My mom wants to see if there's an actual need for that before paying for it. Wait, hold the phone. You three know each other? Yeah, my parents just started fostering, which is how Ethan showed up for reasons. We were the ones who saved him from Krampus. You don't have to tiptoe. Yeah, JC picked the lock, and then I got to ride the dragon's back without being turned pink.
Lucky. Is that jerk still running around? The last time I saw him, my wife whacked him upside the head for trying to take the neighbor's girl. I followed him on my wings for 20 miles before he disappeared on me, and the cops were worse than useless.
I can honestly say that Krampus is no longer anyone's problem.
Yeah, unless he gave Patrick indigestion. Oh, excellent.
Cool.
I never realized that something could be both concerning and reassuring at the same time. Yeah, Ethan's my foster brother now, and because of that, he's now in the same middle school as Ben, who's staying with us while his mom does some sort of girls' night out with the other mom friends. I don't know. She and her friends are staying overnight at the Mall of America. Ew, why? I don't know. And I told her that because Miss Bob cursed her with my sensitivity issues, the mall's not going to be fun. But she said she hasn't seen her friends in ages, so she took the headphones and sunglasses, which should help. And maybe the booze will help too. I don't know. She took an Uber. Sometimes you just have to let them touch the hot stove to learn that it hurts. What can we get for you, gentlemen?
We're almost closed, but we can get you something to... Oh, hey, Nicole.
Hi, I'm here to pick up JC once they're ready.
That won't take long. You're usually here way earlier. What gives?
I had to stay late grading projects for my advanced painting class. The students have improved a lot since fall. If you haven't cleaned the machine yet, I'll take a hot chocolate.
You got it. JC, your ride's here.
Are you okay? You're not usually quiet.
Huh? Oh, yeah, sorry. Just thinking.
Anything bad?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we had some kids show up at the cafe. I don't think you met Ethan, but he's doing good. Turns out he's being fostered by Logan's parents. I don't know if you remember him.
One of the teenagers who graffitied and vandalized the cafe and got turned hot pink until he fixed it.
Yeah, and of course you know Ben.
Of course.
Well, they showed up and they were being regular, annoying teenagers, but it just made me realize that I don't think you and I have had the kid talk yet.
You mean where we sit down and talk about whether or not we want children and make sure ideas for the future broadly align?
Yeah, that. You've said multiple times that you don't want children.
Yep. Although my finances are actually weirdly good. I'd even say that I'm stable since Bob hired me full time. And I've seen the way she handles his now. I know we'd be golden on that front. And at this point, it's more a mental health and cycle of abuse thing with a dash of anti-queer political climate. Like, would the orange dictator let me keep any children? For me, children have always been a possibility, but not something I've truly desired. Like, if it happens, it happens. Yeah. And I know Minnesota is a pretty good place to be right now, even with Roe v. Wade gone, but I have no inclination to get pregnant at all. It's just too risky, especially for a Black woman. If you were capable of getting pregnant, my chances of dying from complications would be 4 times greater than yours. Jesus!
All that to say, I'm pretty firmly in the maybe someday but not today camp, especially given how frequently I'm around children for my day job, so I get enough of that. If I were to go through with it, I'd probably choose adoption, which would negate or at least minimize the chances of you passing on any mental health or addiction issues.
Good point. So, not a deal breaker?
No. Just checking.
Baby, you know I'm always ready to try new things. I just don't want you to feel uncomfortable or pressure to try something just for my sake. No, I know, and the more we talk about it, the less I feel uncomfortable and the more I feel like an idiot. I mean, we're in our 70s. You'd think that I'd have realized at some point that I might take an interest in...
Good morning! How are my favorite Mississippians?
Oh, we're doing just fine. We'll take our usuals in. Darling, did you want anything else? Nah, I filled up on breakfast. I just need the coffee. Oscar, why don't you get started on that while I help the next person? What can I get for you, ma'am? Yeah, I'll take 2 of those Hellfire muffins. Normally I would bake my own treats, but it's been a long week, so I'll cheat just this once. You won't get any judgment from me. And don't worry, everything here is handmade from scratch in the back by our own baker. Nothing's coming from a factory or loaded with preservatives. Well, that's relief. My son just turned 3 years old, so I hosted this great big birthday party with a fire truck theme and invited all the family and friends. We were pretty much gorged on pizza and cake, all made from scratch, of course. Oh, that sounds so fun, and also like a lot of work. I need to hammer out the details for my daughter's birthday. Your daughter? Oh, yeah, she's turning 5 next month. Oh, how time flies. And her siblings, my twins, they just turned 1. We kept that party small and basic. They won't remember it, but for Koala, obviously, you have to put in more effort. Ain't she the one in love with mermaids? Oh, not just mermaids. She loves anything to do with the ocean. Fish, whales, sharks, stingrays. Asif had the idea to take her to Sea Life at the Mall of America, that huge aquarium, and then, of course, ice cream afterwards. So we're probably going to surprise her with that. Oh, now that just sounds like a lovely idea. And you know, my grandbaby, she's 17 and already got a good deal of experience with babysitting. So if you want, I can give you her phone number. I'm sure she'd be happy to watch her twins for the afternoon. You know what? We might just take you up on that. Koala loves her sisters, but when one gets fussy and starts crying, then the other one starts crying, and then she starts crying, and then I start crying, and my poor husband has to deal with all of us. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Oh, you make your husband help you look after your children? He's their father. If I had to make him spend time with his children, I would have divorced him years ago. But that's not his job. That's your job. His job is to provide. Well, unfortunately, we do not live in an economy where one paycheck covers an entire household, which is why I'm here giving you your muffins. I'm sure he could make more money if he wasn't spending so much time babysitting. Man, you've only just met this woman, and you haven't met her husband or daughters at all. You know nothing of her life and so can't be sure of anything. This would be like me giving lumberjack advice when I've never chopped a tree in my life. Here are your coffees. Thank you, handsome. And speaking from the husband's perspective, much as I appreciated my wife looking after the children and then later grandchildren, it was also my responsibility and privilege to look after them whenever I could. And we were much like Husnia here, needing more than one paycheck, except we was in the pits of poverty. Now, if we could have been on a one-check household, I'd have made her do it. Easy. So I could spend more time with my family. Darling, you volunteer to run into burning buildings. You wouldn't have lasted a day. I'd have made it a week. Oh God, the woke nonsense has even reached the elderly. Well, ain't she a charmer? Anyway, Oscar, baby, this Sunday our church is having a pancake brunch after the service. We were wondering if you wanted to come join us. Oh, is that this Sunday? With the Unitarians? Well, as long as you don't mind me hitching a ride, I may finally have an apartment, but the car's still out of reach. We'll pick you up in the morning. Assalamu alaikum. We have about 45 minutes before daybreak, so if your breakfast was a little light, we can fix that. Wa alaikum salam. Luckily, my stomach is full, but I do need caffeine. Although, girl, it's Layla al-Qadir. What, is your boss making you work? I'm only covering the morning shift. I'll be gone before noon. The dragon caught a cold, and you do not want fiery snot balls. In that case, we appreciate your sacrifice. I'll take an Eldritch Smash, large. Right there on the screen for you. And while the furry management is not a fan of tits, she does believe in charity, which you can see on the screen. It was not hard to convince her to choose Palestine for Ramadan. It's the UNRWA, one of the more trustworthy ones. Oh, I gave them my zakat this year. Good choice. So, are you new to Islam? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I was born into it. Most of my family was. And they never told you that we're not allowed to be queer? If Allah did not want queer Muslims, he would not have made queer people. I and my husband were born queer, but we choose to be Muslim, something often made difficult by queer folks. Wow, I'm not a queer phobe. I love my LGBTs. It's just not allowed in Islam. Excluding queer people from your religion, no matter how polite you are about it, is still queerphobia. You're just using your religion to mask it. The Christians do it all the time, as have the Jews and the Hindus and Buddhists, and pretty much every religion has used faith to mask their hate and motives for exclusion. You can't claim to love or tolerate people and then shun them, especially not in the name of Allah and his prophets who preached peace and compassion. I just don't see why you have to advertise it. You said you have a husband, so you're not being queer. Yes, I am. Being married to a man does not make me any less pansexual. It doesn't negate the girls I courted beforehand or the fact that both Sean Beam and Shakira appear in my dreams. I don't hide the fact that I'm pan for multiple reasons. It's part of who I am, as much as being Muslim. It signifies that I'm safe for other queer people to talk to, a safety rarely given to them by religious people or institutions. And unlike a few decades ago, I don't have to hide it. Previous queer Muslims had to hide and lie to their communities so they wouldn't be executed, or at the very least ostracized. We don't have to do that anymore. Usually, depending on your location and circumstances. It's a work in progress, and it's uncomfortable unlearning all of that polite queer phobia, but it must be done. Your Eldritch Smash. Huh. Have a blessed Ramadan. You too. Alright, well, thank you for talking to me about this. I know it ain't exactly comfortable. You're a good sport, Ace. Alright, see you for Easter.
Good morning. Who is that?
Granddaughter, the lesbian one. JC, she loved those cookies. Almost stabbed me with a fork when I tried to steal them. Yes. I'd make them usual, but the display cooler isn't that big, and we like to rotate different treats so it doesn't get boring. I love that you're doing gladiator dates for Ramadan. That is so cute and so delicious. Why do you call them gladiator dates? Because the recipe is literally from the time of the gladiators. They were selling these guys at the Colosseum. They're stuffed with nuts and black pepper. I've got a sunflower seed alternative in case you're allergic. Rolled in salt and then roasted in honey. The flavor profile is so unique. Guarantee you've never tasted anything like it. Well, hell, I'll try serving of that with my usual coffee. A sunflower, please. I do got a peanut allergy. Okay, right there on the screen for you. Thank you. Now that pin means you're pansexual, right? Or am I completely mixing them up? Oh, you're not. Good memory. And I think I remember hearing something about JC over there being bi. To the surprise of absolutely no one. Yeah. You mind if I ask a somewhat personal question? We do not promise answers. How do you know? I mean, did you think you were only one way for a while and then you realized you weren't? Or was it always there? It was always there, but I didn't realize it until high school. Once I had a name for it, then I was able to accept it and claim it. Not me. No, I pushed down any and all thoughts of being queer into a tiny little ball wrapped in anger issues and drug addiction until it almost killed me. Now, why on earth would you do that? Queerphobic family. I thought Kelly was fine with it. Kelly's always been cool, and my brother doesn't get it, but he's never actively caused me problems. My parents are
Better than they used to be, but they still voted for the orange dictator at least twice, possibly even 3 times, and still don't understand why I'm so pissed at them for it. My older sister and extended family are nightmares. I can see why I'd stay in that closet. I know Cyrus has never been in the closet, at least not with friends and family, but I think that had more to do with being born in the Fae realm and raised by Bob. I don't even think they have gender norms over there. I mean, Faye's got 99 problems, but sexism and queerphobia ain't any of them.
Well, the Cyril farm does have that homophobia. You would think it's still in the 1950s over there, if not earlier. And I never understood why. Everyone's a little gay. There are good, lovely people across the board. You know, I'm happy I had my wife, but before I had a friend who was male. And we probably would have been married instead if people hadn't been so uptight back then. I mean, goodness gracious, you could hardly sneeze and you'd have the whole neighborhood in your business. Well, that's not a very straight thought, is it? I'm gonna guess no.
Nope. Alright, I'm gonna help the next person while you figure out your order.
No, I know what I want.
And I can only get that for you if you tell me what it is. Well, aren't you in a rush?
Yeah, because you got 4 people behind you.
Exactly. They're behind me. I was here first. They can wait. I'll help whoever's next.
Hey!
Thanks. I'll take a medium of white girl tears. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds fun. It's a white chocolate mocha with pixie dust and dragon water on the screen for you.
Hey, Bob, can you get that?
Do you know what you want?
Yes.
And that is... I forgot. Next.
That's not fair. I was here first.
And that only works if you tell me your order.
But I forgot it.
Silence.
Well, when they notice, they'll only be able to speak freely when they tell you their order. Where's Oscar? He's got so much more patience for these morning rushes. Well, shit. Guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I better get breakfast started. Biscuits and gravy good for you boys?
Oh, with bacon? Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Oscar just pulled up. Yes, I get to clock out. Pull up. He doesn't have a car. Looks like Yarn Granny and her husband drove him. Oh, yeah. Wow, the 3 of them got pretty Whoa. What? Oscar just kissed Yarn Granny on the mouth in front of her husband. You sure it wasn't the cheek and he just missaw? Nope. And now he's kissing Vet Grandpa. Huh. I need more caffeine to deal with this.
Good afternoon.
And must be, given the lighting. Congrats said you knew boyfriend and girlfriend?
Oh, goodness no. Caroline and Andy are friends. I think it's friends with benefits, or maybe an open marriage in their case.
You know their real names?
Now you don't?
I was kind of convinced that they, or at least Yarn Granny, were ancient fae or eldritch beings and didn't really have mortal names, and it'd be rude to ask at this point.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah, honestly, same.
Oh, now that's just silly.
Hi, welcome to CaFae Latte. The new drink specials are on the board, including a really tasty rose matcha. We've also got blueberry muffins coming out of the oven soon, piping hot. Well, those muffins sound good, but the prices are kind of high. Yeah, everything's getting more expensive, including ingredients. JC doesn't even use eggs anymore. They substitute with applesauce or pumpkin puree, which we get a lot cheaper in bulk. We also have the Neighbors account, which you can donate to or pull from. Basically, it gets you 1 free coffee and or pastry. I'm not that desperate yet. I'll just take a medium vanilla latte, 2 extra flavor pumps. Okay, with the extra flavor, that's just over $5 plus tax. Oh, you Jew. No, I'm agnostic. Raised Christian. Raithu's Jewish. Hi.
Here are some more dishes, Drek. Have you seen Bob? Right here. Everyone's paycheck should have gone out yesterday. Oh, that hit. I just needed to speak with you privately after we close. Of course. Have a good night, everyone. All right, Hizdian, just you and me. What's going on? Where's the chair that you enchanted so any who sit on it can only speak truth? In the office. I didn't want a customer to accidentally blurt something out. Oh, here it is. Asif and I are quitting the CIA. Truly. It's not a cover. It's not part of a larger plot. We're not getting transferred. We're done. We wanted to wait until Asif at least had secured another job, but with the escalated insanity coming from the federal government, not willing to help prop up a local dictator, we considered seeing it through until the next election, maybe try to mitigate the damage from within, but if we're already deporting legal residents without a trial, I'm honestly not sure there will be another election, or at least not a fair one. I've been encouraging everyone to update their passports if they can. They won't let Janine do it with her being transgender, so she's had to go through ulterior methods of procuring travel documents. Oh, I think I know the man she used. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. He'll take a lower bribe if you feed him. Anyway, we were hoping I could now start working here full-time with health and dental benefits for my family. The sooner you fill out the paperwork, the sooner I can get you on the schedule. How long have you had this prepared? You know you're not the first agent I've flipped.
In the corners of my mind I roam, a forest built where dreams call home. Hushed whispers sneak through ancient trees, carrying secrets on the midnight breeze. Oh, whispered shadows in the dark, sewn in my diary with every spark. A fantasy dance of stars collides. Your voice guides me where the wild hearts hide. Pages stained with moonlight's glow, ink like rivers that softly flow. Every word a truth untamed. The wild in me cannot be chained. Oh, whisper shadows in the dark, sewn in my diary with every spark. A fantasy dance of stars collide. Your voice guides me where the wild hearts hide. The echoes bend through twilight's veil, a spectral realm where truths prevail. With every line I carve a sky and piece together the worlds that lie. Morning weeps, yet I still stray through scribbled paths in yesterday. A fleeting tale I can't rewind, but whispered shadows still remind. In the forest deep, where shadows fall, lives a queen who stands so proud and tall, her throne of whispers, her kingdom's call, with dragons fierce who hearken all. Through the misty woods her anthem rings, a symphony of wild and wondrous things, with scales and wings and ancient kings. She's the spirit of forgotten springs. Raise your voice like a dragon's roar, queens of old, we will be no more. In our hearts we feel the core, strength and power forevermore. Beneath the moon, with stars so bright, she dances in the silver light. Her gaze is sharp, her spirit might, a queen who guards the forest night. Through shadows deep, through oceans wide, her echoes heard on every tide. In legend now her name's our guide, to lands where ancient secrets hide. With a gaze like embers burning gold, she leads her tales of legends told, her stories one of courage bold. In songs of old she will unfold. Raise your voice like a dragon's roar, queens of old, we will be no more. In our hearts we feel the core, strength and power forevermore. Beneath the moon, with stars so bright, she dances in the silver light. Her gaze is sharp, her spirit might, a queen who guards the forest.